You're tuned in to Voiced Thoughts Talk Show and Podcast, a forum where we discuss and explore society-based topics while advocating and providing information and resources to the community through an unscripted, unfiltered, and authentic approach. Listen on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and Apple Music. Watch us on YouTube. Join our Facebook group. Follow us on social media, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at Voiced Thoughts Talk Show and Podcast, your society-based channel. Welcome to another episode of Voiced Thoughts Talk Show and Podcast. I'm your host. Allow me to reintroduce myself. This is my first episode since announcing my title. I am appointed as the state title holder representing the entire state of Kentucky in a national pageant as Mrs. Kentucky Petite USA 2025. And this will be in Chicago, Illinois in July 2025. So I wanted to take the time out to highlight that. Our title sponsor, we want to give a shout out to Evergreen's Plant Shop, Coffee House, and Wine Bar, located at 4677 Alben Barkley Drive in Paducah, Kentucky. Evergreen's strive to provide an experience as well as a great cup of coffee. So stop in today to get that great experience. Our episode sponsor is Soul Wellness. Your wellness journey begins here. For more details, check them out on www.shellyoneilwellness.com. Again, where you can find us, you can watch Voice Thoughts Talk Show and Podcast on YouTube. You can listen on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Apple Music. Join our Facebook group, Voice Thoughts Talk Show and Podcast, and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Our episode today, of course, we're still in season 3, episode 9, and our topic today is mental health awareness. Please allow me to welcome our guest on today's show, none other than the amazing Shelly Baer. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Congratulations on your appointed title and all the great things you have going on. You're just a blessing and an inspiration to our community, and we're very appreciative of all that you do. So
Thank you so much. I am honored to have you on my show. You have a lot going on yourself, and I'm honored to have known you and met you and worked and collaborated with you. So before we get into all the nitty-gritty of the things, Evergreens, they've been an amazing title sponsor of season 3. And so one of the things that they have done very well in hosting me here in the coffee shop is they provide 2 amazing featured drinks to myself and my guest for that day. And so we have some drinks here today. So you have the peppermint latte. You can hold it up to the camera. See that peppermint latte at Evergreen's Plant Shop and Coffee House. I want you to go ahead and try that and tell the audience what you think about that.
Well, not only is it beautiful and very festive, it has just a creamy, really rich flavor, but it's light too. So I can drink, that means I can drink the whole thing.
Oh, girl, yeah.
I'll be ordering this again.
And I am having something very fancy, like my crown. I look so good. Look at this, y'all. If you're watching, you can see it. This is called the Little Debbie Latte. Oh. And they've taken an actual Little Debbie Christmas style one. Of course, Christmas is on their way. And they've stuck the straw. If you cannot see this, you can actually listen to the description as I try. And it's beautiful. I mean, it has a Christmas tree, Little Debbie on top. It's a cold drink. And the straw is like through that. So you get a little dessert. So here we go.
It's definitely a statement piece.
Cheers. Cheers. Cheers to years. I love that. All right. So you have this brand that you are promoting called Soul Wellness. And thank you, by the way, for being an episode sponsor and supporting Voice Thoughts Talk Show and Podcast. What prompted you to start Soul Wellness?
Well, I've always enjoyed wellness. First of all, my background is as a therapist, and I have a healthcare company and all of that. But in doing that, I've always been asked to assist with organizations and companies when they had a crisis where they needed training or support. And what I realized was if we can focus more on wellness early on, like when children and teens are in school, and we can teach like really healthy habits, we can decrease the need for therapy and like clinical services down the road.
Absolutely.
So I've always enjoyed it, and I never get tired of hearing people's stories or watching them get the life that they've always wanted.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that. And so what is wellness and how does it really help people? You talk about helping people, but how does it really help people?
Well, wellness is very generic, first of all, and it can mean a lot of things to a lot of people. And most of the time when you say wellness, people think of an activity like going to the gym or yoga, but actually wellness is daily habits to improve your physical and your emotional health. And then we've taken it a step farther because it's a wellness, that's just what we do.
Okay.
To where it can improve your financial health and your spiritual health as well.
I love that. Yeah. I love that because those aspects can affect your mental health as well if they're not intact. So very good stuff. And what are the 4 pillars of wellness? What are those?
That came about because as working with a lot of people over many years, I started noticing that, maybe their depression improved, but they might still be homeless. Or maybe their financial situation was pretty good, but their emotional health wasn't. So I started looking at what would help this person so they, because they would leave my office and feel good until they got to the next stoplight. And then it was gone. And I'm like, okay, what's going to be lasting? And it's really wellness. So really looking at the 4 pillars came about because I think you have to have good spiritual health. And anyone in recovery of any type, whether it's from an eating issue or addiction or pornography, whatever you're recovering from, spiritual health and improving that's huge. And then the financial health, all of the stress that can come with poor financial health. So using financial, spiritual, emotional, which is regulating your emotions and your feelings and your thoughts, along with your physical health.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
Yeah.
All right. So now that we've talked about the 4 pillars, what are the benefits of wellness in today's society?
I think all of us want to do more than survive. And I know a little bit about your story and being an advocate for women. And it's about changing your life from just surviving it and getting through it. And I was a single mom with 3 children for many years. And there was a lot of seasons that I just got through. And that's okay to do for a short season, but we don't want to live our whole life that way. So that's why we really want to teach people these habits and take it to companies and organizations to come up with programs that you get to thrive and not just survive.
Yeah, I love that. So how has your background in therapy helped you to create your wellness company?
I think seeing the need for wellness, if we as a nation, as a community, as a state, as a neighborhood, if we could implement healthy habits and wellness early on, not only would it save us money from like a company perspective, because companies struggle with absenteeism, retention, and burnout. It would help us from an industry perspective, but it would prevent so many things that can become debilitating. Things like major depression, severe anxiety. I've seen people who never got their anxiety treated, and it started out pretty mild, but then it increased over a number of years, and they ended up not being able to leave their home, losing their jobs, and not having relationships. So for me, my background was, we've got to do something early on instead of waiting until it's so severe someone needs hospitalization or medication or therapy.
Being preventative and proactive, actually. All right. Thank you so much for sharing that. What are your goals in bringing wellness to people on a regional and national level?
I think I had the luxury of seeing people get better, and I've had the luxury of watching people heal, and that never gets old and it's powerful. So I want to help companies do that. I want to help companies improve their culture so they're a safe place. I want to talk about, inclusion and diversity and equity issues, along with just really helping companies, because none of us show up as healthy employees if we're not healthy people. So I'm very passionate about that, about helping organizations and companies and communities heal.
Oh, I love that. I think we do need more of that.
Yes.
Why do people need help with wellness in their lives? Like, why? you mentioned a couple different things, but, if you want to get into more depth with that.
I think a lot of us, if we're honest, are dragging around luggage. Like, think of like old beat up luggage, full of things that we have been carrying that were misassigned to us. Maybe someone growing up called us a name, or they told us we weren't good at something. And instead of discarding that, since we're human, we just put it in a suitcase and we just drag it with us. And the older we get, the more of those things collect. So I think being able to look at things like that and help people go, stop dragging that around. That should never have been something that someone handed you and made you carry, so let go of it now.
I love that. How does wellness affect people's lives?
Well, it can cost company and organizations a lot of money, for one thing, and it can impact an industry. It can shut down an industry. Like our service industries are struggling now because it's just so hard to staff them. So it can affect people that way, or companies, but then in our own lives, it can prevent you from having that relationship you've wondered about, you've dreamed about, that you wanted, you maybe saw on TV, but you're like, yeah, that's not been my, those weren't my picks.
Right.
So I think making your relationships healthier, more rewarding, and then just enjoying so much of life. I think wellness, it improves your physical health. People that have great daily habits, they have lower blood pressure, they live longer. Their weight tends to be, where it should be. They're more physically active. You increase longevity. There's just study after study about how wellness affects us for the better. But the downside is if you don't do those things, all the negative consequences.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing. I'm learning so much myself.
It's a lot.
Yes. And, what I love about this platform, it's all society based, and we're able to explore, those topics and not confine them to, I love that we're exploring all of this. And in the same breath, this platform is educating and providing resources to my listeners and my audience. So thank you so much. And, we're going to share your information again, where they can find you. But I have a few more questions for you. I'll let you take a sip, girl. Go ahead.
I love this drink.
Well, see, there you go. You found something. Well, how does wellness help in the corporate setting?
Well, I think, what we're seeing now is 44% of companies are looking in 2024, are actually looking at increasing their wellness services, particularly in areas of stress management, burnout, and in mental health issues. So it really helps companies address performance issues, retaining staff, and then hiring the best talent as well. We all want to work somewhere that has a great environment, but we also enjoy working somewhere that has some things that maybe we wouldn't do on our own. Like, gym memberships are important. The ability to have like life coaching. I know a lot of companies are implementing that. So it's not therapy, it's not clinical, but it's support, it's encouragement, it's helping them function better. So for a company, it's kind of a no-brainer. If you want a healthy group of employees, you have to address the wellness issues.
Wow. Just wow. And so what are the benefits of corporate wellness? You kind of mentioned some things, but why should companies that are not doing that, as you mentioned, why should they invest in that?
That's a great question. And wellness shouldn't be expensive either. I think there's a misnomer that if something is great, then it's got to be really expensive, and that's just not true. But I think companies, if they're going to develop a positive, safe culture, they typically need help with that, because that's not what they do, right?
Right.
So that's where like a company like Cell Wellness comes in. So it's developing the culture. It's also helping the company reach their goals, maybe their productivity goals. We've done some work with like manufacturing companies and the marine industry, healthcare companies. Healthcare is a highly stressful, it's like chronic stress. So, and when you have physicians and specialists that are working these long hours and doing intricate surgeries, one of the things we've learned is wellness presentations really help that. So it helps a company, get the best talent,
Yes.
but supports that employee while they're doing their job, so the company then benefits.
It has been an amazing session with you. So tell our audience where they can find more, how they can reach out to you. If there's an organization that wants to reach out to you to get you into their corporate settings, how can they get to you, Shelly?
Sure. Well, you can go to our website, ShellyO'NeillWellness.com. And then that'll take you to our Instagram page, our YouTube page. Please check out our YouTube page. We're super excited. We've just recently uploaded some new videos and different things. And we have a lot of 1 minute little tips and suggestions on there as well.
I love that.
So YouTube, Instagram, our website, and you can also contact us through that. But yeah, check us out. We would love to help you on your wellness journey.
I love that. I love that you're accessible, and thank you for taking the time out to come on this platform.
Welcome.
It is so needed in our society, and I really wish you the best as well on this journey as you create, this atmosphere for individuals and the corporate setting as well. So it's been a great pleasure talking, because I think, mental health awareness is not just a mental health awareness month thing that we should focus on. I think we should be focusing on that on a day-to-day basis, as you say, like creating habits, so that you don't wait till you have a train wreck. You're basically maintaining your car, like you get an oil change. Right, so that you don't break down on the side of the road, right? So it's being proactive instead of reactive. So it's been such an amazing time talking with you. Once again, we want to highlight the sponsors of episode 9. Our title sponsor, Evergreen's Plant Shop, Coffee House, and Wine Bar, located at 4677 Alben Barkley Drive, Paducah, Kentucky. Evergreens strive to provide an experience as well as a great cup of coffee, so stop in today. Our episode sponsor, of course, our special guest today, Shelly Baer. Thank you so much. Soul Wellness. Your wellness journey begins here. So definitely check her website out, www.ShellyO'NeillWellness.com. That will be on the screen. And for those who are listening, it's ShellyO'NeillWellness.com. ShellyO'NeillWellness.com. You can watch us on YouTube. You can listen on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Music. Join our Facebook group, Voice Thoughts Talk Show and Podcast. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. I have been your host, and my name is Danette Mahabeer-Turner, and I'll see you on the next episode. God bless you.